Returning back to Labor's superannuation announcement, the government is preparing to spend big to make sure mums and dads will receive super as well as their parental leave payments. It's expected to cost around $200 million annually, which is definitely going to hurt the budget's bottom line. Joining me now is Judo Bank Chief Economist Advisor Warren Hogan. Warren, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Is this good economic policy in your view?
Look, it's not bad economic policy, but it is expensive. It's going to cost the taxpayers more, probably $200 to $250 million a year to start, but that will grow a lot. And it's an example of a government that's obviously more than happy to keep spending our money. And of course, that comes in the context of what we now have as one of the biggest government sectors in our economy that we have seen since the 1970s. But in terms of the underlying policy, look, it's all about trying to fill in as many gaps as they can with super, because it's quite clear that most people aren't going to have enough super, and that this is another strategy to try and top as many people's super up as they can.
Yeah, that's very clear, but gee, it's an expensive policy at that. Now, by his own account, Treasurer Jim Chalmers is getting ready to shift gears, signalling that he will eventually need to start dealing with the economy's weak growth figures. Or, you know, that should have been obvious, but this is what he told ABC Radio.
I think inflation is still the main game in our economy, but the balance of risks is shifting. And so will our strategy, not in fundamental ways, but in terms of the difficult balances that we strike between cost of living help and budget repair and investing in growth in the budget. You know, we will maintain a primary focus on inflation, but not a sole focus on inflation. You know, as the risks shift in our economy, the balance shifts in our budget strategy as well, and I think people will see that in May.
Well, that remains to be seen, but Warren, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the Treasurer is quite clearly paving the way for a bit more spending in this budget. It is obviously a pre-election budget, and the message out of Dunkley is cost of living is everything. And the easy approach to cost of living from the government's point of view is obviously to provide handouts. Now, look, that's all assuming, and I think the undertone of those comments was that the economy is going to continue to be weak, and that inflation is going to continue to fall, and that this spending won't actually put any upward pressure on inflation or interest rates. That's what remains to be seen. We now know that the economy went through a soft landing last year, and we've at least been going for 6 or 9 months.
Yeah.
And it's not at all clear that the economy won't start picking up in this next few months.
No, well, look, it remains to be seen. Warren Hogan, we've got to go. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.